All right, everyone. We've learned about wants and needs, and we have learned that having a shelter is a need. And we've even read some fiction stories of other characters building their shelters. And now it's time to learn about shelters from people all over the world. So I'm excited to share this with you. But before we get started, I wanted to tell you that it's really important when we're learning about other people's cultures and languages and their homes that we say things respectfully. And I wanted to share with you that I don't know how to say all of these words and that I've tried to get some help with my pronunciations. But if anyone at home can help me, I would love some help with how I'm pronouncing these words because I know I'm not saying them wrong. And I know I am saying them wrong and I'm just doing my best. And we know that it would be very respectful and it's a sign of respect to say things properly. So I wanted to apologize in advance and say that I am sorry if I am offending anyone with the way that I am saying these words, and I hope that someone can help me with them. So if you're listening at home and you can help me, let me know. All right, guys, let's get started. Traditional houses from around the world. All right, so in Central Asia, they have yurts. What do you think a yurt is? What do you think it's made out of? Wow, look at those beautiful decorations. Yurts are portable, round tents made of animal skins or felt, and they're often used by nomads. So, if you're a nomad, it means that you move around a lot. So, it's important to have a home that you can pack up quickly and take with you. Why do you think people might need to move around a lot? Hmm. They've existed for thousands of years in Central Asia and are still very common in Mongolia. A lot of times, if you have a yurt and you're nomadic, you have large groups of animals, whether they are goats or cows or sheep, and you have to move your animals around a lot because you have to go where there's grass and food for your animals. So you have to pack up your home and move around so that your animals can keep eating. It usually takes between 30 minutes and 3 hours to set up a yurt. All right, so look at these gorgeous houses of South Africa. It's Ndebele, and I think it's Ndebel. Ind, no, I'm not saying it right. Ndebel House. So again, if you can help me at home, that would be amazing. So look at these beautiful, intricate paintings on the houses. Do you think that they are symbols of something? Do you think the colors represent something? Wow, they are so beautiful. The many colors, shapes, and symbols on these houses are culturally significant to the South African people. So, why do you think they might be so important? So, after the war, they used these paintings as a secret language between their people. So, to communicate with each other, the people who lived in their town, they would use certain paintings and symbols as a secret language to communicate with the other people who lived in their town. That's very cool. Wow, how beautiful. Now, this tradition of house painting is passed down to each generation by the women in the families. So that would mean my grandma's mother's mother taught it to her daughter, who taught it to her daughter, who taught it to her daughter. My grandmother would have taught my mom would have taught me, I would have taught my daughter, and it would keep on going. How amazing that these beautiful, talented women are passing down this very special house painting tradition. That's awesome. Look at these turf houses from Iceland. Wow, that's amazing. Why do you think they might have used dirt and land and grass as part of their house? These houses were first made in the 9th century due to the lack of building materials. That means they didn't have any other choices. They had to use the turf or the land around them to help build their homes. They didn't have any other materials or resources. They are built using turf bricks or bricks made from dirt laid around a wooden frame. The turf serves as a great insulant against Iceland's cold climate. So, just like in the wintertime, your jacket keeps you insulated against the cold weather, using these dirt and earth and grass bricks keeps the homes nice and warm because it's very cold in Iceland. In Tunisia, they have cave houses. What do you think a benefit might be of having a cave house? Can you think of some? They are homes made of sandstone that are built underground. First, a large pit is dug. Then, around the perimeter or around the outside of the pit, the caves are dug to be used as rooms. And you can see them there in the picture. That's awesome. Houses are connected by passageways to protect people from the desert heat and the winds. So, how smart is that? So, all the houses are connected by little passageways so that people don't have to go out in a sandstorm or out into the heat because it can be so dangerous to be out in that strong, strong heat. And they're protected from the environment by living in these cave houses. In South Korea, they have Hanoks. These are traditional Korean style houses made from all natural materials. Hanoks with tile roofs were usually owned by noblemen, while ones with thatch roofs were owned by commoners. What do you think that means? Nobleman? Commoner? Hmm. The houses at the top that have the tile roofs were owned by noblemen. The ones at the bottom that have that straw thatched roof were owned by commoners. If you guessed that noblemen had more money and usually had some royalty in their family, you are correct. They had more money and therefore more resources to make their house a little bit more fancy. So they had those tiled roofs, while the commoners were people with less money and they were not related to royalty. And so they have those straw thatched roofs. One of the most unique or special features of the Hanok houses is the underfloor heating system called an ondol. So that means that underneath the floors is where the heat is coming from, and it comes up through the floorboards and heats the house. In parts of North America, we have igloos. Look at those giant igloos. Igloos come from Inuit history and culture. Igloo means house. So we have the Inuit people are Native American people who live in the really northern parts of North America, and they have these igloos. Now look at those gigantic ice blocks. They are blocks carved out of the snow and the ice. How amazing is that? They serve as temporary snow shelters used by hunters in winter. So temporary means that it's not permanent. So the igloo is not going to be there for forever, but it's used for a short time by people who are hunting in the winter months. Traditional igloos are mostly found in Canada, Greenland, and Alaska. In India, we have Katuvalams. Now you can see from the picture that this looks like a houseboat. I would love to live on a houseboat. Look at the intricate pattern of that roof. These are intricately carved wooden houseboats. The first ones were built around 3000 BC and were used for transporting or moving goods and people. Today, they're mainly used as accommodations for tourists. So that means if we were to go there and visit or go there on vacation, they are mostly used today instead of hotel rooms for people who are visiting. Pretty cool. In the USA, we also have pueblo houses. What kind of material do you think these pueblo houses are made out of? Here we have the Pueblo Native Americans doing an eagle dance. These are the traditional homes of the Pueblo Native Americans in the southwestern part of the United States. The thick walls made of adobe bricks are used to protect against the heat. So it's a very hot in New Mexico and in the southwest region of the United States. And using this adobe bricks made of mud keep the inside of the homes nice and cool. What an awesome way to use natural resources. Traditionally, upper levels were only accessible by ladders. So, if you've ever been in a house that has an upstairs and a downstairs, usually the stairs that connect the upstairs and downstairs are inside. But traditionally, with Pueblo houses, the upstairs and the downstairs were only accessible by ladders on the outside of the house. All right, here we have these Italian Trulli homes. Look at the symbols on the roofs of the house. They're huts made of stone and whitewashed limestone collected from nearby fields. They can be found in the town of Al- Alberobello, and some date back to the 14th century. The toppers on the roofs are used to distinguish the stonemasons who built each trullo. So if you look at the top where the different symbols are, and those here we have like little round spheres at the very top, but different builders, different stonemasons would have a different symbol for each house so that you could look at a house and you would know who built it because each person had their own little symbol. Each builder had their own way of distinguishing or telling people their who how they built their buildings or who built their buildings. All right, in Indonesia, we have rumah gadong. Wow, look at that beautiful roof and those beautiful pattern designs on the house. How gorgeous. They're the traditional houses of ethnic groups in Sumatra. So I'm going to ask Miss Garda how to make sure that we're saying it right because she lived in Indonesia, so I know that she can help us with this. Minang, Minang Kapu, Kapu were the ethnic group in Sumatra who lived in these traditional houses. Wow, look at that. So beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at those fancy outfits. While they once served as homes, today they're mostly used for family meetings and ceremonies. They're owned by the women in the family and passed on from mothers to daughters. In Turkey, they have rock houses. So take a look at this. What do you think came first? The rocks or the houses? The rock formations are the result of volcanic eruptions that people then carved into houses. So we know that when a volcano erupts, the lava that comes out cools off, hardens, and makes rocks. And that's where a lot of our mountains come from. So here they have carved the mountains out, they've carved the rock formations out, and they've carved houses into the stone. How amazing is that? These homes were mostly used by people hiding from wars and persecution. So, persecution usually means that you have to leave where you're living based on your beliefs, and usually your religious beliefs. They're connected by underground tunnels to create entire cities. How amazing is that? All of these houses are connected with underground tunnels. They make their own cities. That is amazing. Look at these awesome Portuguese houses. So these houses are in Portugal. Why do you think that they are in this shape? What benefit do you think having a roof shaped like that would be? Can you think of any? I bet you can. Traditionally, these were the houses of farmers in the village of Santana. They have a triangular shape with straw roofs extending down to the ground. In this type of house, food is stored in the attic while the living area is on the first floor. I hope that you enjoyed learning about different homes from all around the world. You're going to be building your own outdoor shelter this week using natural materials. So I hope that you are excited, and I can't wait for our next project.